Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. At the request of his family, the leader of the Russian opposition, Alexiey Navalny, was transported from Omsk by aeroplane to a hospital in Berlin during the night. Activist Alexiey, whose foundation Cinema for Peace organised the transport, said today that Navalny's condition is very serious. Navalny has allegedly been poisoned by persons unknown, possibly on the order of President Putin himself.
Two hearts beat in my chest. On the one hand, I feel very relieved that he has survived it, that we have managed to do this. For a long time it looked as though it was not working. It did work. But, of course, this is only a small success. The decisive question will be whether he will survive this and, above all, whether he will survive it unscathed. He's in a very critical condition, and probably, in the future, the Charité and his family will comment on this. For Cinema for Peace, the mission is over, mission accomplished. It was very good to notice that Mrs. Merkel and the French president had offered that Navalny could be taken care of in Germany if needed. But we are not claiming any state benefits. All the treatment, the journey, has been paid for privately, and the Navalny family will, as far as I know, pay for the treatment themselves. The taxpayer is not burdened with this, and also my foundation does not have any costs. It was a humanitarian mission for us, but it can't be denied that it also took on a political dimension at a certain point. And a great deal was done in this respect from many sides, including a personal letter from Navalny's wife to Vladimir Putin.
Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki has spoken to Belarusian blogger Nexta about protests in Minsk and other Belarusian cities. Nexta has become the main source of information about the protests in Belarus. According to Morawiecki, the protests in the aftermath of the presidential election constitute a groundbreaking moment in the lives of the Belarusian people.
We want to implement financial measures to help those repressed in Belarus and those who want to come to Poland and build Polish-Belarusian friendship. I believe that these changes which have begun are unstoppable. They will be growing like a snowball. The need for freedom, democracy and being part of the family of free nations will pull the Belarusian nation to final victory. Over 10,000 Belarusian students are currently studying in Poland. We want this number to be higher, and we want it to be proof of Polish-Belarusian friendship. It is only natural that young people from Belarus learn about everyday life in Poland, go back to Belarus and tell their friends and families that Poland is a friend who wants to live in friendship and cooperation, especially economic, cultural and scientific. Together with Belarus, we have our own beautiful history. We respect the Belarusian nation and its achievements, and that is why this program is not only directed to those repressed, but to everyone. However, those repressed by the Lukashenko regime will get special support from the Polish state.
Over 70 websites have been blocked in Belarus, including opposition media portals Svoboda Radio, Belsat TV and Euro Radio. The Wiosna Human Rights Center and the Independent Belarusian Journalists Association have also been blocked.
The websites have been blocked pursuant to a decision of the Ministry of Information. The reason for this decision has not yet been presented to the public. There are over 70 blocked websites, including opposition party portals, opposition presidential candidates' websites, the Wiosna Human Rights Center website, and the Golos online votes protection platform. The list of blocked websites has not been published. The media were able to create it thanks to information received from internet providers to whom it had been presented.
The French police have increased their patrols near Calais, looking for migrants preparing to try to make it across the English Channel in order to reach the United Kingdom. The number has jumped significantly this summer, and last week the first fatality was recorded as the body of a Sudanese man was washed up on the beach in France.
The quiet, picturesque beaches around Calais belie the dangerous crossings by migrants hoping to reach England. Day and night, French police scour the beaches and dunes around Calais, looking for migrants hiding as they await the right moment, their equipment often buried under the sand. Standing in front of the remains of dozens of inflatable craft in the backyard of a police station, Captain Eric Binet has a message for migrants considering the sea crossing to Britain. Don't risk your lives. We find these items either when we arrest people or as they cross the channel. Recently, we had a case of 17 migrants who were thrown onto the coast, who were apprehended by the maritime gendarmerie and were told to return to the beach. We rescued them as they were on an inflatable boat whose motor would not start. The question of how intensely the French gendarmerie should guard the coast and who should pay for it has become an increasingly important question in Franco-British diplomatic relations. This patrol mainly consists of surveillance of all of the beach and the surrounding areas to spot crossing attempts by migrants to avoid accidents that can happen during these crossing attempts. Captain Binet says it's a miracle more migrants aren't losing their lives as they attempt to cross, as the strait is more dangerous than it looks. The English Channel is a highway, with tankers crossing each other and very strong currents. And you have people attempting to go to sea, sometimes 15 to 20 people in a boat, normally underinflated boats with engines that are not at all suited to this kind of crossing. So as soon as they board, the voyage is doomed. Warm weather and a deceptively calm-looking sea are tempting dozens of migrants to board rubber dinghies for the 30-kilometre crossing to Dover, whose white cliffs are visible from Calais. The increased number of new arrivals in the UK has been capitalised on by Nigel Farage's Brexit party that is now rising again in the polls.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.